Blessed love to everyone. This is the Honorable Priest Isaac. I'm inviting you to join me on Sunday, the 4th of October 2020 at 7 p.m. sharp for the official online book launch of The Heavens Declare the Glory, our brand new electronic book. This evening, we will be also having a dynamic lecture entitled Rastafari and the Cosmos, where we will be going into the link between Haile Selassie I and the movements of the heavens and the astronomical clock. We will be speaking of his link as it relates to the biblical scriptures and the Solomonic dynasty. And we will be going into the connection of, yes, Haile Selassie and the ancient Kemetic Egyptian kings that people refer to as pharaohs. So you don't want to miss this. This is our first official online lecture. This is the 4th day of October 2020. It is a Sunday evening, 7 p.m. sharp. The entrance fee or the admission fee for this lecture is only $20, United States currency. But we have a special before the 11th of September. If you buy your ticket before the 11th of September, you will get it for only $13. Yes, $13 before the 11th of September. You can make your payments via Cash App, $ Atonra 2723, capital A TON, capital R, capital A 2723, Cash App, $ Aton 2723. Or if that is not available for you, you could just contact us via email, priestisaac27@gmail.com for more information. And of course, you will have to contact us via our email so we can send you your key that you will be able to enter into the lecture hall on the 4th of October, 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. We will have a wonderful lecture, online lecture. Many of you have been looking for Priest Isaac to come to your city and town. Now you can come to me and join us in the virtual world again for our first official online lecture, and it will be the official launch of the ebook entitled The Heavens Declare the Glory. Remember, this lecture is entitled Rastafari and the Cosmos. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Blessed love. Oh, blessed love, we definitely give thanks. Yes, we glorify Emperor Haile Selassie I, which is Amharic. It means the power and the might of the Holy Trinity. And of course, we glorify and give thanks for the power and might of the Holy Trinity. Let me just give you, this is a better viewing for you for the moment. Blessed love to each and every one. Of course, you are here in the Tiger's Nest. And yes, we are extremely excited. The Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. It is the 4th of October. Mark the day down. The 4th of October. It's a Sunday evening, my good brothers and sisters, at 7 p.m. sharp. This will be our first official online lecture. This is not just a video presentation. It's not a documentary that we will be launching, but we will be having an official book launch. That's first of all, The Heavens Declare the Glory. But the proceedings for the evening will be a lecture given by myself. As I said before, as you know, we are international independent educators. So we are accustomed to do lectures and seminars and workshops, different subject areas, different topics. I think by now you could, pick up that energy there, that there's many different avenues that we do go down. So we are bringing this now online in the virtual world, cyberspace. So you don't have to come to us after we come to you, come to your country, and then you come to the place where we are. You could stay right where you are on your computer, on your laptop, on your iPad, on your cell phone, whatever it is that you have, and you can connect it to cyberspace, we will be there to meet you. So again, it's not a YouTube video presentation. Let us be clear here, because a few people have been contacting me, and I'm very thankful to all those who have reached out thus far, looking for information on exactly what it's all about that we will be doing on the 4th of October, Sunday the 4th of October. And some people think that we're going live on YouTube, and some people say, is it Zoom? And no, it's not YouTube, and not Zoom, it's not a Facebook presentation. It is an exclusively an online lecture. So we will be utilizing a webinar platform. So even the lecture that we will be giving, you will have an opportunity to ask your questions. There's a question room where you don't have to write your questions in the chat if the chat is available for that specific event. But you could go into the question room and put down your question. And then after registering your question, those who have similar questions or a similar question, or maybe the exact same question, instead of them asking the question again, they can vote on your question. So 5, 6 people come in and have the same question. They say, hey, listen, somebody asked the question already. You could vote on the question. So now myself, after the lecture, and I see the questions now, when I come into the question room, and I see, hey, 7 people asked this specific one question, 2 people asked this specific question here, and 1 person asked this other question. Well, let me deal with the question that the majority of the people want to, get the answer for, which would be the 7. So you actually have a leg up as such, or what you call it, a handicap, in that sense, wherein the fact that other people have the same question, you just vote for it, and it just appears in its own spotlight, so to speak. So that's a very good feature there. So the point is now, my brothers and sisters, all you have to do is to contact us via email, and we give you your key. You get your specific code that you would enter into the lecture. Now, as we said, also there is a Cash App available for you to make your payments, and as you could see there on the poster, you could see the Cash App itself, Atonra 2723. Listen to me good. We also have the Cash App information in the description below. So if you go below this video here in the description, you will see the Cash App. All you have to do is press it. You don't have to memorize it, and it will carry you straight to the source where you pay for the lecture itself. As I said, you contact me, and we see the whole transaction, and of course we will definitely send you the link for you to enter into the lecture and the code itself that goes with it. It's a very, very simple process, and if you do not have Cash App available, just because of, as I said, the specific software and everything that we're using, but it's all right. If you do not have the Cash App, all you have to do is to contact us via email, precise@27. We'll tell you exactly what else you can do for that. So again, I'm telling you, it's going to be a very wonderful and in-depth lecture. This is something that you'll be looking forward to. If you have the book, The Heavens Declare the Glory, I mean, that is good. But don't confuse it as if like, well, I don't got to go because I already have the book. We're going to be going deep, my good brothers and sisters, for sure. I will not, trust me, I would not have an online lecture where there is an admission fee to come into the lecture, to be telling you things that you hear us speak about already. You understand? It's a lecture class. It's not just like a lecture, man, like a talk. It's a lecture class, proper presentation and direct PowerPoint presentation, so you could see exactly what is being discussed and evidence and facts and sources. Not that we don't always come so, but let's be honest. Sometimes we gather together and we speak and we're just having a discussion. But this ain't no discussion. This is going to be a online lecture class, Rastafari and the Cosmos. As I said, it is Sunday, the 4th of October, 7 p.m. sharp. And I'm definitely telling you, you're going to full enjoy it. You'll be so happy that you actually came and supped with us and, you know, felt the energy. So give thanks again. For that, as you could see here, this is the Heavens Declare the Glory, and the Heavens Declare the Glory is still available, my good brothers and sisters, with the package, which includes the true biblical land of Israel and ancient and modern. So that is still available as well, where you get the 3 books for only 50 United States currency, and this is very important, you actually get the whole shock of the hour, a month's worth of the shock of the hour. And as we said before, anyone that subscribed this month for the shock of the hour, you definitely will be getting a free entrance pass to the online lecture on the 4th of October 2020. So that is definitely something that I'm sure you will appreciate. And the same thing goes for the parents of those who they have signed up for our homeschool class. You sign up for the homeschooling, astronomy and African heritage for a month, or however you sign up for that. The moment you sign up, you get a pass to come into the lecture on the 4th of October 2020. And let me just make it clear. You hear us speaking about subscribers to the shock of the hour. Those who are subscribers to the shock of the hour. I mean, when it comes to our lectures and our products and all of these things, they definitely get the first fruit as it relates to that, in the sense that they're already a part of the team. So they benefit from that right away without any extra charge, and that is for sure. All right. As you know, it's the 11th day of September. And I know everybody's talking about, of course, 9/11 as well. People talk about 9/11 and what happened 19 years ago. We haven't done a program as it relates to 9/11 for a while, but I'm sure those of you on the YouTube can go right into our catalog and see the programs we have done on September the 11th, 2001. That is not something I even want to try to go into now, but I think by now most people should have an understanding of, you know, the how false it was. And you see, this is the thing. Obviously, next year, and people still going to the grave sites and crying, and people that are running for political office that want you to vote for them and all of that foolishness, you know, pretending as if they don't know what really happened and crying and talking about we've risen from the ashes and all of these foolishness, when we all know that none of them 4 planes that hit the 2 buildings and the Pentagon and crashed in Pennsylvania, none of them did nothing that they say they did. For sure, it was not a plane that ran into the Pentagon. I mean, this is undeniable. There's nobody on earth that can prove that. You cannot prove that a plane ran into the Pentagon. This is, I mean, it's just, I mean, undeniable. You know, the hole that the Pentagon, the plane supposedly made, the hole is smaller than the fuselage of the plane itself. In fact, the original hole, the initial hole before the collapse of the roof, was about the size, or the what you would call it, the diameter or the circumference basically of the nose of the plane. But yet still you found no parts of the plane, no wings, no tail. Remember the whole, the distance across that the plane made is shorter than the distance of the wingspan. The wingspan is about 140 something, 146, 47 feet across. You check it. The hole itself that was made by the same plane, the hole is not 100 feet wide. So you would expect, if the plane runs into a building and makes a hole that is smaller basically than a lot of the plane, you would expect some of the plane to be on the floor. No plane, nothing, just nothing in it. Nothing. So all the people that were in that plane, where are they? That died running into the Pentagon. We didn't pull a bone out, not even a bone we pull out. The damage wasn't that bad. You can't compare it to what happened by the Trade Center. And that's another thing. The damage that happened to those buildings in comparison to what happened to the Pentagon is, I mean, you cannot compare it. And the method that was used was the same. You'd expect that the plane would have flattened the Pentagon. But that little damage that it got, just a little thing, you'd expect that you could at least pull out a few bodies, whether they be dead or not. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you know, that's it, the 11th of September. But yeah, at the same time, the 11th of September, of course, is the Ethiopian New Year. And we're just going to touch upon that for the moment because, you know, we're getting cosmic with this stuff right about now. Very important, the Ethiopian New Year, because, you know, some people, they even dispute that, you know. So we're just asking, what's the origin of the Ethiopian New Year? Is it from the very first calendar that ever existed? And, you know, a lot of aspects of anciency, even in Ethiopia, a lot of things about Ethiopia that are ancient doesn't mean it's actually the original. And you may be upset and say, oh, well, the Ethiopians are the first. I'm sure they are. But even the calendar they use, maybe they had a version even before that. That's not exactly, you know, the one that they have. You see, we get like we gone in some sort of, you know, we get paranoid when something sounds like it's, you know what I mean, getting in the way of our belief. I'm just asking the origin of it. I have some information here that I just want to go through. As you would know, I believe that this time of the year in Ethiopia, it's not just the New Year, it is also considered the feast of St. John, or John the Baptist, Kedos Johannes. This is the feast of Kedos Johannes. Just like on the 27th day of Maskal, we will have the feast of the Maskell. 27th day of September, we'll have Maskell, the feast of the cross of Christ. You're following me good. So this 11th day of September is also considered as the resurrection of Asa. The 11th of September is the resurrection of Osiris, according to Max Thought in the book, The Pyramid Prophecies. The 11th of September, 2001, specifically, is the last day of the prophecy of the Great Pyramid of Kemet. Interesting. So this day, this 11th of September day here, ain't no jokey day. There's a science here. I could see why these killers, you know what I mean, had to put on their hocus pocus plot and lie on the 11th of September, talking about they find the passport of the chief hijacker in the rubble. And we buy that, eh? We wear that like we wear the mask. You know what I mean? This is what I'm telling you. You know, how are you so sure that, you know, the coronavirus is a pandemic? You know. You don't have to explain all of that. Just show them 9/11. If you can explain 9/11 properly to anybody, once they get that, you don't have to explain nothing else. If you understand, I just heard the other day, you know, it's either the day before or the 2 days prior to the eve of 9/11. Just a couple of days ago, they were putting the stats together. I think they were saying that 70 million, I think I'm correct, 70 million people have lost their lives since 9/11 because of the wars. I said, what? 70 million? I mean, like, you serious? And remember that includes Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, and Libya, and Somalia, and Ethiopia, Eritrea, and the Sudans, Iran, huh? and Korea, and all these different places. And this includes American soldiers as well, British soldiers, Australian soldiers. They're piling all the numbers together. And because of this lie about plane running into building, and it can be proven that the second plane was not an American airline. The plane that ran into the Pentagon was not no plane, and the plane that crashed in, where was it, Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh or wherever it was, where you didn't find no piece of that plane neither. It just crashed and left a black mark and the plane disappeared. Wow. And we believe this. We believe this. We just go with this. The fact that you can believe that. This is why you would wear a mask without even questioning what's going on. So the people that give you the mask to wear is the same people that tell you Osama bin Laden, and they found the passport in the rubble, and the Pentagon was attacked by Delta Airline and all sorts of things. 4 feet off the ground the plane was. They say when the plane run into the building, you still see the flowers on the ground. I wonder if you understand the ramifications of a plane running into a building that just took off full with fuel. You can't run that into no building 4 feet off the ground and the plane totally disappear because of the impact, and the grass on the ground is still there. Not even a petal blow off of the flower. Butterflies still like, give me a break, man. We believe this stuff. So this is serious. And they picked that day, the resurrection of Osiris. That's my point. There's not no memorial. The resurrection of Osiris. The feast of John the Baptist. The last day, the specific day, not no anniversary, the specific day of the ending of the prophecy inside of the Great Pyramid, the 11th of September 2001, according to Max Thought. The Ethiopian New Year. Let's just read this here coming from tours.com, Ethiopian festivals and celebration. This is a tour site, but still. Celebrations in Ethiopia are great and colorful events, mostly religious, and frequently take place over several days. Important Christian holidays include Meskel, Christmas, Timkat, Kiddush, Johannes, and Easter. Timkat, which marks Christ's baptism, is the most colorful event of the year. In September, the 2-day feast of Meskel marks the finding of the true cross. Kiddush Johannes, New Year's Day, comes on September the 11th, which coincides with the end of the season of heavy rains and beginning of spring. You get that good? Okay, I'm going to jump over this part and go straight to this. We have here Enkutatash. Enkutatash. I hope it's pronounced correctly. It's the Ethiopian New Year. It's the 11th of September. It says here, this festival celebrates both the New Year and the Feast of John the Baptist at the beginning of the long spring rains, when the highlands are covered with wild flowers. Ethiopian children clad in brand new clothes dance through the villages, giving bouquets of flowers and painted pictures to each household. September the 11th is both New Year's Day and the feast of St. John the Baptist. The day is called Enkutatash, meaning the gift of jewels. When the famous Queen of Sheba returned from her journey to visit King Solomon in Jerusalem, her chiefs welcome her back by replenishing her treasury with enku, or jewels. The spring festival has been celebrated since these early times, and as the rains come to the abrupt end, hear that? Abrupt end, so something happening in the cosmic. Dancing and singing can be heard at every village in the green countryside. In the evening, every house lights a bonfire, and there is much singing and dancing. The main religious celebration takes place at the 14th century Kiddush Johannes Church in the city of Genet in Gondar region, the Gondar region. 3 days of prayers, psalms and hymns, and massive colorful processions mark the event of the new year. Closer to Addis Ababa, the Rigel Church, or Raguel Church, on top of Entoto Mountain north of the city, has the largest and most spectacular religious celebration. Enkutatash is not exclusively a religious holiday, but it is also a celebration of springtime and renewed life. Modern Enkutatash is also the season for exchanging formal New Year greetings and cards among urban people. Now, basically, what you're getting here from this is obviously that you have some relation here now with the visit of the Queen of Sheba to King Solomon. So you can see that, of course, the Ethiopians, especially on that religious aspect and their anciency, are very passionate about this story, which some people think is just legend, of the Queen of Sheba visiting King Solomon. And of course, the product thereof was Menelik I, who came the first emperor of Ethiopia from the Solomonic dynasty. So when she came back, they replenished her treasury with enku or jewels. And that will show you still that I know they say Solomon was rich and wise, but Queen of Sheba had a change too. In fact, if you read the scripture, if I'm not mistaken, she gave Solomon some 666 talents of gold and some other stuff, and caravan and spice and all sorts of different stuff the Queen of Sheba brought to the mighty king, according to the story that you would read there, even in the scripture. So when she came back, she was replenished, you understand? And herein now lies that whole vibration of history and using it in its allegorical sense, because what you have here, let's just say it was an allegory. It clearly shows you that it's an allegory of the return of the spring festival. That's what it is, it's the spring festival. Spring is not necessarily, spring is nature. Spring and the rainy season and all of that is nature. This has been going on for quite a while. It says here the spring festival has been celebrated since these early times. And as the rains come to an abrupt end, hear that? The rains come to an abrupt end. So I'm saying that this would have been happening for a while, thousands upon thousands of years. So although we are relating this new year or this new beginning with the Queen of Sheba and Solomon, yet still other aspects of the new year and the new beginning, not the story of Sheba and Solomon, but nature, how nature reacts. This has been taking place before Queen of Sheba and Solomon. In fact, are we to believe that the Ethiopian New Year would have come into an existence because of the legend of Sheba and Solomon? But it clearly shows you that this day, the 11th of September, aligns itself directly with nature. The way that the author wrote it, to me, stands out. Hear what he says: as if the rains come to an abrupt end. So obviously, those of us from ancient time would have been observing this. It's like the flooding of the Nile and the rising of the star Sirius, Potolo. We observe that, and it happens like clockwork, on time, in the nation of the Nile, So we see that in nature every year for thousands of years. It's the same thing that the Ethiopians are doing. They have seen this for thousands of years, that around this time, the rains would abruptly stop. So just understanding this has to be a new beginning. This has to be a new year, a new cycle, because they have different new cycles. The 1st of March is a new beginning. It is a new cycle, depending on where you are on the earth. The 21st of September and the 21st of March, depending on where you are, that's a new cycle again. That's why the ancient Ethiopian calendar, in ancient Kemet, pardon me, would have begun with the 1st of March, a very significant date, that 1st of March. The 21st of March, the 21st of September, even the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of January, very close to the parahelion when the sun is closest to the earth, the 21st day of June. All of these are key days. Even the 1st of April, all of these are key days which all signify something within nature that is beginning itself, its new cycle. The 7th of February, another beginning, a cosmic cycle, and that is why you see even the Chinese New Year's and some in the Islamic world, you'd find related to the moon, the new year would fall somewhere around that time. So when you understand the science, it's not fighting and which one older than which and all of that. You understand? That humanoids behave so. It's humanoids argue about everything to see which one is the oldest. We're the ones that get into that. But nature coincides with nature. So the 11th of September now, a new year, a beginning, you know. And that science is older than the story of Sheba and Solomon, you know, or the event that took place. So you cannot just trace it back to that, because it was prior to that. The nature itself was showing us that from so long. But it's just that the history now of the visit coincides with the science of the nature. And that is what you will always get when you study, especially theology, anything theological and legends and these different things. When you study it scientifically, people get offended as if, oh, you're fighting the vibes. It's not no fighting nothing. We're trying to extract the true essence from the story. That is why Christ had to tell you, hey, listen, I'm going to break down Solomon's temple and build it back in 3 days. And the fellas couldn't understand what he was saying. And they said, how are you going to do that? He said, no, it's not mash, I'm going to mash it up, you know. I'm just trying to show you that I am the temple of Solomon. And in the same way I just explained, I will be broken down, but in 3 days, I will resurrect again in the eyes of many. And even that doesn't necessarily mean what the world has come to think that it means, that somebody's going to kill him and he come back alive in 3 days. Doesn't necessarily mean that neither. So you have to look for the hidden meaning in many things, my brothers and sisters. So the 11th of September, we give thanks. We give thanks for replenishing the jewels. What we need to do now is tap into the energy. We like to talk about this is a holy day and celebration day, but are we tapping into the energy of the day? Because the day comes with an energy. It is obviously a renewal day. John the Baptist, man, Kedas Johannes, a water carrier, the baptizer. Here is the rains come to an abrupt end. We're giving thanks to the Johannes in his godly state as the bringer of the water. Not the John the Baptist from Sunday school storybook. We're looking at it on a higher level. The giver and the bringer of water. Why do you think they're giving thanks to John the Baptizer when the rains come to an end? Because they understand the science of the Aquarius energy, the water carrier, which is both male and female. Yeah. So do give thanks again. All the joy of celebration and happiness in the house of Ethiopia. Again, the resurrection of Osar. Again, the last day of prophecy 2001, 11th of September in the pyramid. And at the same time, the Ethiopian New Year. All powers, to such science of a very important day. The feast of John the Baptist, John the Baptizer as well, So again, I'm inviting you all to join us when? The 4th day of October, 7 p.m. sharp. You'll definitely full enjoy this. And let me just remind you, if you have been thinking about subscribing to the Shock of the Hour, because I know ones have been thinking about it, you tell me so. Not like if I'm guessing. I'm gonna subscribe soon, my brother, because I've been thinking about it. I'm putting everything in order so I could make sure when you send these audios, I could put them in my library. And okay, well, I'm telling you, this is a good time, a better time than any right now. There'll be better times to come for you to subscribe to the Shock of the Hour, because when you subscribe to the Shock of the Hour before the 4th of October, you'll definitely get a free pass, your admission, your ticket specifically for the lecture on the 4th of October. And the same thing applies for all those who will be signing up their children for our homeschool programming. Of course, you know, we have our international homeschool programming dealing with astronomy and African heritage and history. And if you know not about that, you can contact us via the email precise27@gmail.com, and we'll send you more information as it concerns that. And remember, for sure, down below, you have the link for the Cash App, and that will directly lead you to where you can make the payments for your ticket for the 4th of October. Grand event, my brothers and sisters. Looking forward to seeing all of you in the house that evening, definitely. We'll be having a grand time, a upful time, good meditation, good reasoning, good conversation. Yeah, taking it to another level. Anyway, I'm going to free you up now to do what you got to do. All is well, all is blessed. Of course, you know what you got to do. Just live up and do what's right. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Holy Emmanuel I Selassie I Jah Rastafari. Blessed love.